early in this fracas was to let it go a little bit, let the fights get over, let them punch themselves out, but they never stopped. Cheevers and Smith now talking to each other.
Well, Cheevers is talking to Smith, who's really got a short fuse, and Cheevers is trying to keep Smith out of it to protect Smith so he won't get thrown out of the game. So you are right. Cheevers came in as a peacemaker there, and then the four of them kind of waltzed around how the goaltenders fight. I saw Bouchard and Gilbert in a wrestling match. It looked like a couple of turtles going at it in Atlanta. Remember that one?
Yeah, I certainly do. Gilbert got one good punch in, and then the 40 pounds of equipment they wear just wore them down. They couldn't lift their arms. That was the only other time I've seen goaltenders go at it in the National Hockey League.
Lorimer looks like he has really been through a war among all the players, and he tangled with Jonathan, so that's not the first time we've seen that. But how is Newell possibly going to assess this so we'll have some players left to play?
Fred, did you bring your skates? You may have to put them on. I don't know if there's going to be anybody left. I know one thing. Newell had a big sheet of paper, and he was trying to write down as much as he could. But everybody was involved. I don't know if there was anybody on the ice who didn't throw one punch or one time or another. Billy Smith and Stan Jonathan had a few words.
Well, Smith has a very, as we said, short fuse.
Well, you know, Fred, you can...
He's been in fights with Mulvey of Chicago, and he tried to move in, so Cheevers tried to separate it, and we can't summarize that session there, Joe.
No, but you know, you can have a short fuse when you're wearing a birdcage mask. If I were to advise Bill Smith, I'd tell him if he's going to bother with Jonathan, he better put his mask back on.
Well,
I guess it's over now.
Brad Park and Stan Jonathan. Back from the wars, there is Stanley, who has seen limited playing time, but plenty of fighting time.
This was more of a crusade than a war.
All right.
John Kiley playing Star Wars. He perhaps should be playing Rocky.
Okay. Waiting for all the sticks to be picked up. The gloves. Jerry Cheevers, the peacemaker. I take it back. He was trying to keep Bill Smith at bay and have Bill keep a cool head, so he stayed in the game. If he got thrown out, well, goaltenders think about each other, and then they all went in that battle, which kind of a waltz with all the equipment on. After one period of play, the score: the Islanders 1 and the Bruins nothing. Stay tuned for our first intermission after these messages.
Yesterday's big cars didn't demand so much of a motor oil. But today's smaller cars, with their higher revving, hotter engines, can break down an oil's viscosity. That's why they need Castrol motor oil. In lab tests, Quaker State and Pennzoil showed significant viscosity breakdown. Castrol didn't break down. So for today's smaller cars, use the oil that keeps up with the times. Castrol.
And now, save gas too with Castrol new GTX 10W30 motor oil.
Did you get that rabbit at your New England Volkswagen dealer?
That's correct.
Why a rabbit?
Practicality. It gets great gas mileage, and everybody knows about Volkswagen's resale value.
Is that the only reason?
Well, it does go 0 to 50 in 8.3 seconds. Front-wheel drive gives it superb handling, and frankly, it's a lot of fun to drive.
I thought you bought a rabbit because it's practical.
I said practical, not dull.
Test drive the 1980 Rabbit at your New England Volkswagen dealer.
All over Massachusetts, lottery sales agents are getting ready for the lottery's new instant game, Cash in a Flash. With over 2 million instant cash prizes to be won, including 10 $100,000 instant prizes. It's easy. Just rub all 6 flashes, get 3 matching amounts, and win that prize.
Okay. Give me 2 neat crowds.
Play Cash in a Flash. Over 2 million cash prizes, but they're going fast.
I feel
feel the good times. I taste the sunshine. You'll taste it too with Mountain Dew. I feel the good times. Breezy. I taste the sunshine with an easy. You'll taste it too with Mountain Dew.
Nothing tastes quite like smooth Mountain Dew. Come on, taste the sunshine.
Well, with the Bruins down one game in this quarterfinal series against the Islanders, the score now at the end of the first period of Game 2, New York 1, Boston nothing. And I guess you can tell by watching that first period that both teams placed some significance in the outcome of this fray. First period shots on goal were even at 8 apiece. We'll check the first period summary a bit later. But first, and I wish I could say back by popular demand, but, well, it's back anyway, an intermission feature on that ever-popular but soon-to-be extinct wrap-up program.
When I came to Boston to work 10 years ago, I had seen one hockey game in my life. In order for me to begin to understand hockey, I had to apply a lot of basketball principles to the sport. If I'm just there with my typewriter and in my chair in front of the monitor, and next to my person at the videotape machine when the puck drops, I'm okay, and I can start from that point. We work with 3 videotape machines. 2 of them are hooked together to make up the tape delay, where machine 1 records the game as it's happening, and then there's a looping of tape that creates enough tape that it takes 16 seconds from it for it to get from the point where it's recorded to the second machine where it is then played back 16 seconds after an event. And then we have a third machine that we use to record the actual pieces of the game that we want to use on the post-game program. So what happens, for example, is if a goal is scored, and that's recorded on machine 1, 16 seconds later, that same event will be played back on machine 2. And we'll be able, during that 16 seconds, to start machine 3 running so that we can record the action and get that goal onto the piece of tape on machine 3. In this power play, if they get a series of shots, we may try and get 2 or 3 good saves in there. The games that have the Bruins against Montreal, the Bruins against, say, the Rangers, where there's a rivalry, or now the Bruins against the Islanders, because the Islanders are that strong. Those are nice ones to try to put together because there's some anticipation of that game beforehand. Now, I want to see the 22 seconds of silence on this last cut. It's right after the goal by O'Reilly. You want a nacho cheese-flavored chip? 32 plus 102. And you said that that cut, second cut is 1:13? Over the line. Yeah. Minute 13. Amazing. That's what I got.
Pass it front. Roll full left.
We're going to record that score now.
Oh.
For the client.
I thought you were a tad confused.
It's back for Bourne. Out comes Rick Smith. Shot. Save. Score! Trottier banged it in. 3-1 as Trottier fires in from the crease. And the Islanders with a 2-goal lead.
All right, let me hear it.
Not a power play goal for the Islanders for that great stop by Gilbert.
Score! Trottier banged it in.
John Bloodbound. Now watch the stop by Gilbert on a little soft drive with that left foot. Boy, that was a big stop.
Let it roll 12,
the goal crease,
or until it gets to the slow-mo, whichever comes first.
Backhanded it into the open net. And at 5:13, Islanders 3, Boston 1.
Oh, that's good. We've got 2 goals edited together like that. We got lucky, didn't we? Just bang, bang.
We're writing the script while the game is going along, so the script is developing. So at the end of the game, the same thing happens, where we're up to date with the script, and it's just a matter of finishing off the last couple of lines.
And be sure to join Tom Larson at the end of the game. You'll have all the action highlights and a look at the scores.
We're trying to get the highlights of a game in there, and at the same time, we're trying to keep the thing as short as we can. Because, let's face it, people have just seen the game. They don't need 30 minutes of seeing the same thing all over again. So we're trying to do two things. We're trying to highlight the major things that happened in that game, and at the same time to keep the program fairly short so we just don't drive people away.
All right, open drums, Mike. Ready, camera 2. Take camera 2, go Tom.
Well, you have reason to expect that a game between the Bruins and the Islanders would be a pretty good hockey game. This one wasn't. Both clubs have fallen on hard times now, and this game came up lacking. Goaltenders, Gilbert for the Bruins, and for the Islanders, who grabbed the lead early on Bob Bourne's first goal of the year.
Take the 8.
And Howard Nystrom are the wings. Langvan, John Potvin, set in, wide, and Bourne scored.
Boston's first goal of the night came early in the second period, just 45 seconds in. It was Terry O'Reilly.
Secord back in against Lorimer, battling, digging. Off for O'Reilly, into McNabb. McNabb in front, O'Reilly shot, scores!
The tie was a momentary thing. At 2:16, Mike Bossy scored a gift goal, and 3 minutes later, another by Brian Trottier. It was 3-2 now, the Bruins within striking range, but not for very long.
And has a man free. It's Bossy, and a save, and...
So the Bruins were down by 2 again. It was New York 4, Boston 2. Then in the final minute, shorthanded goal by Peter McNabb to account for the final score. It was 4-3. For Fred Cusick, John Pearson, Charlie Minn, the rest of the TV38 hockey telecasting crew, I'm Tom Larson. Good night.
Sometimes when all of those things happen right, I mean, all of those technical things happen the way that they're supposed to, when man and machine are working right, and just the personal things, I get some pride and some satisfaction out of it.
Why use a There Tomorrow package service when Sprint's Eastern Same-Day service gets it there today? Eastern tags it and bags it and gets it on the next flight out. And that's over 1,400 of them to 85 cities every day. Your package is there today, guaranteed, or your money back. So when it has to get there today, you've got to hand it to Sprint, Eastern Same-Day package service.
To everybody who puts in a hard day's work. This Bud's for you.
This Bud's for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. You know it isn't only what you say, it's what you do. This Bud's for you.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Hey, this Bud's for you. Friday night at 6, Radar manages to get Hawkeye and the medical crew lost en route from a medical convention on MASH. At 6:30, Bob's therapy group plans an anniversary celebration on the Bob Newhart Show. Then at 7, an intelligence officer decides the fate of a wounded soldier who claims to be Jesus Christ on MASH. And finally at 7:30, Felix dates a woman whose jealous husband is a pro football star on The Odd Couple Friday night on TV38.
Well, some first period, and not talking about the scoring, there was only one goal that was scored in that 20 minutes of play, and then there was a good 10 minutes of banging people around after the period had ended. No idea at the moment as to the total number of penalties. Fred and Joe should be able to fill us in on that either shortly before the second period gets started or just about the time that it does. There have already been a number of penalties before everything broke out right at the end of the period. But the numbers that show on our summary show just one goal scored and 16 shots on goal, evenly divided. The one goal, Brian Trottier at 16:08 of the period from Morrow and Bourne, his 4th of the playoffs, and the shots were even at 8 and 8. Tonight's second period is coming up in a moment. We're at the end of the first period. The score, the Islanders 1 and Boston 0.
Discover the downsized 1980 Continental Mark VI, shorter than last year by 14 inches, lighter by 675 pounds, with a 41% improvement in gasoline mileage ratings. No Cadillac V6 or 8-cylinder engine gets better gasoline mileage. Explore advanced technology like automatic overdrive for dramatic highway mileage. Enjoy its luxury, its roominess, and examine its striking four-door model. See the downsized Mark VI for 1980 at the Sign of the Cat.
Hello, George.
Yeah, directory assistance?
No, George. This is your conscience.
You're working for the phone company?
No. You dialed directory assistance.
But I didn't know the number.
That's what your phone book is for. Every time you dial directory assistance, you're raising the cost of everyone's phone bill.
But you're making me feel so guilty.
Just doing my job.
I found the number.
Good. Now about this other habit you have of getting up. The year is 1954, and the man is Kurt Ziebart, master mechanic and inventor of engineered rust protection. His skill and dedication set the Ziebart tradition for excellence. Today, just as 25 years ago, your Ziebart dealer is the first and last word in rust protection. Like millions of satisfied customers, you too can trust Ziebart, America's oldest and largest rust proofer.
12 Ziebart dealers to serve you. Check the yellow pages for the one nearest you.
My name may be Louis Jourdan, but my favorite sparkling water doesn't come from France. My choice is your very own, Canada Dry Club Soda, America's #1 sparkling water. I have tried sparkling waters all over the world, but I prefer the clean, crisp taste of Canada Dry. It is, how shall I put it, like your country. It sparkles. America, I toast your sparkle.
America sparkles with Canada Dry.
So tonight it's the Bruins and the Islanders in the second game of their best-of-7 quarterfinal match in this year's Stanley Cup play. It's New York 1, Boston nothing. We're at the end of the first period. Just a couple of minutes from the second period with Fred Cusick and Joe Gordon working tonight. Guests between periods receive a gift certificate from Eastern Coat Company in Watertown. Truly fine men's store offering great tailoring, infinite variety, and outstanding values, along with real personal service. Try the Eastern Coat Company in Watertown for all of your spring clothing needs. If you want to know how good we are, ask our customers. Now tonight's second period, Fred Cusick and Joe Gordon.
Well, last night they had the New England AAUs at Freeport Hall over there in Dorchester. I guess it was sold out while the Bruins played here, and we matched them here tonight, Joe.
Yeah, we had a cute little dance too, Fred, with the waltz of the goaltenders.
Right. Belanger, he'll get his name in the book now. Who were the 4 goaltenders waltzing?
This is destined to be a trivia question 20 or 30 years from now.
Well, let's pick up the highlights of the period, Joe. Okay, first we're going to take a look at the goal by Trottier.
Okay, here's a move. Ken Morrow through Ray Bork's legs. Jeebers makes the save, has no chance on the rebound. It goes to Trottier, bang, it's in the net. Middleton breaking down the right side. Eyes in the back of his head. Spots Terry O'Reilly in the slot. Gets the puck to him. Smith makes a wonderful save with the blocker. That is a tough save for a goaltender. Moving that big stick. He was going in the opposite direction, had to swing that arm up and got it with the blocker. The rebound, he lost sight of it. Where is it? Drops down to his right and harmlessly out of the crease. Now we've got a shot that the Bruins had that I thought was perhaps their best legitimate chance of the entire period. And the way things have been going in this series, it was almost destined to happen. Dennis Potvin's going to have to return the Norris Trophy, making a pass like this, right to the stick of Dwight Foster in the slot. Bang, broken stick. Smith was totally unprepared. He was off balance, had no idea where it was going. O'Reilly was in front for a rebound. By the time the puck got in, because Foster broke his stick, there was nothing much to do, but Smith just stared away the rebound, harmlessly. Bruins coming back onto the ice now. We'll get a report on the penalties. I don't know how many men are going to be left to continue the second period.
Well, we might just have 6 aside for the second period and the third period, too. Boston Bruins are out. The Islanders lead 1-0. And up on the scoreboard, what about Minnesota beating Montreal last night, Joe?
Well, you have to feel that all those injuries to Montreal played an important factor in that. Guy Lafleur not playing, how important is he? He may be the most valuable player in hockey in the last 10 years. Other players, Serge Savard, Guy Lapointe out of action for Montreal. Doug Risebrough, kind of an unheralded player who always seems to hurt the Bruins. He's a feisty player, kind of a Gary Howard type of player, but he comes up with a lot of goals and a lot of assists. I think that was the major factor. The fact that Montreal had all those injuries. It's going to be a terrific boost for Minnesota, though.
Waltz of the goaltenders.
Cheever's saying, okay, Bill, keep it cool. The four of them together. Oh, now Cheever's getting a little hot under the collar.
Smith and Belanger. And Resch, an impartial observer. And they're trying to calm down Billy Smith. And Arthur Katz is keeping our stats. And boy, he'll have a busy time of it. And we'll run him down in just a minute. So Montreal could be in trouble. A team obviously not in trouble, Buffalo. They have no injuries. They've had very few injuries all season long. And I think that's more important to their success than the three-coach system, Roger Nielsen and the videotapes, and Scotty Bowman and the rest.
Well, you still have to do it on the ice. And you know, Fred, this has become a survival contest. This is a grinding schedule with 26 possible playoff games. And it's the team that's going to be healthiest amongst the contenders that's going to win this.
All right, let's look at it. Sutter, Lorimer, and Lane. 5 minutes for fighting, 10-minute misconduct, and a game misconduct. They are all out. And Howard is also in that. Add Howard. 4 of the Islanders are out. And for the Bruins, 5-minute fighting, 10-minute misconduct, and game, and out. Milbury, Cashman, Secord, and Jonathan. So Newell balanced it off pretty well, but there won't be many players left here.
It is pretty well balanced off in terms of manpower, but I think in terms of key manpower, the Islanders might have gotten the best of that.
Let's look at it again. Add Howard in there. And Sutter, Lorimer on defense, and Lane, they're missing 2 defensemen. The Bruins are going to miss Milbury on defense and 3 forwards.
Al Secord, that effectively breaks up that line that had been going so well, Fred.
In the penalty box, Gillies and Nystrom now, Wensink and O'Reilly, and we're underway in the second period. A drive in by Ray Bork. The teams are at full strength, if we can call it that. The squads are not. Foster steals, loses to Bourne, to Trottier. Trottier off, and a shot and a save on Tonelli. And the rebound bounces to Marcotte. Up for Miller with Foster. Fakes his shot, goes wide, drive, and a save by Billy Smith. Both teams with chances. Tonelli at one end, Miller at the other. Tonelli back. Pass blocked by Bork. Marcotte can't clear. Steal Trottier for Bourne. Bourne moves right in. Tough angle, and he missed the net. Poked free by McTavish. Marcotte lost it to Trottier. Trottier trying to get it back. It's cleared away by McCrimmon, and it will be icing. With the score, Islanders 1 and Boston nothing. Bruins hockey continues in a moment.
Play ball! You can win a free pass on American Airlines for a whole month, or one of 10,000 free round trips, or one of 40,000 other prizes. It's the great American game on every American flight, and it's more fun than any other game in the sky. So play baseball on American Airlines.
Oh, I won! I won! We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
It's getting a little lonely on both benches with 8 players gone from both teams. That first period, 248 minutes and penalties for a Stanley Cup record.
Drive save on Pearson by Cheevers. And Merrick battling, and McTavish, Middleton. Middleton starts it out with Park. 3-on-1. Park in the middle with Wensink and Middleton. Park overskated. And just took his head up to make a play. Gets it into Wensink. And the Bruins foiled on a 3-on-1 bid. Middleton steals. Shot. Score! Rick Smith. Rick Middleton sets up Rick Smith moving in close. And from 20 feet, the
had some big goals in the playoffs. He doesn't score many, but he seems to score key goals. Rick Middleton setting this up. Smith moves into the faceoff circle, slaps it. High to the near side, it looked like. Smith very little chance on that. That shot was labeled. Smith had all the good wood on it. His first playoff goal this season.
Rick Smith hasn't played in a couple of games. Out comes McTavish as the game is tied up. Billy Smith trying to clear it out. Stopped by McTavish. Wensing lost it. And Nystrom now. Around for Dennis Potvin. Off to Morrow. Up to Goring. Nystrom. They break it in. To Goring, and he missed on the shot. The tip in. Brad Park coming back. Over to Rick Smith. Lost it to Nystrom. And Tonelli over the line. Lost it to Park. Back comes Wensing. Way to Middleton. Middleton breaking in on the right wing side. Shot. Just blocked by Morrow. What a great defensive play by Ken Morrow. McTavish keeps it in. Wensing fell down and Morrow has it. Out to Nystrom. Lost it. Wensing right back. Can't move with McTavish. Park breaks over the line with Middleton. Trying to set him up. Blocked by Morrow. Another key defensive play by the Olympian. And back, Nystrom lost it to Bork. Bork rushes. 1-1 the score to Foster. Foster on Morrow into the corner. Stops, check. Trying to come out of the corner. Checked by McHenry around the other side. McNabb on it. Back softly to McCrimmon. Quick wrist shot. A save. Rebound. A save. Shot. Save in front on Redmond. 3 shots in a row by Boston. Out comes Dennis Potvin. 1-1 the score to McHenry. Hit by Bork. He breaks to the corner. Behind the net. Dropped it to Pearson. Into Trottier. Out to Bourne. What a shot there. Missed. And the Bruins come back. McNabb with Foster. Fakes. Moves in. Blocked. Redmond overskated. Foster keeps it in on the line. Foster trying to get it off to McNabb. McNabb. McCrimmon to McNabb. Looking for Redmond. Broken up. Dennis Potvin back. Dennis Potvin checked, but keeps it in at the right point. Beautiful maneuvering. Over to Pearson. Shot wide of Cheevers. Into the back of the net. Knocked free. And a whistle by Newell. With the score of Boston 1, Islanders 1. Bruins hockey will continue in a moment.
Our Own a Toyota Today sales event means we're making deals like there's no tomorrow. Making deals on the widest selection of Toyota trucks ever. On long beds, standard beds, 5 speeds, 4 speeds, automatics, 3/4 tons, 4x, all right here. But hurry, they're moving fast.
Got a blue SR5 sport truck with a 7-foot bed?
You own it.
Oh, what a feeling to own a Toyota.
Today! Whoop!
That's a cute little bugger, ain't it?
The action hot and heavy here. 8 players out of the game. Mike Milbury, Wayne Cashman, Al Secord, Stan Jonathan for the Bruins. Sutter, Lane, Howard, and Larimer for the Islanders.
Middleton clears it in. Miller in on Pearson. Around the board. Checked by Middleton. Langman checked by Middleton. Puck to Marcotte to Miller. For Park, closing shot, save. Billy Smith never made a better one. Park gets it back to Rick Smith. The clear in. Ricochets around the boards. Marcotte banging in the board. And a whistle for a faceoff. And Billy Smith robbed Brad Park, cutting in on a feed about 20 feet away. Let's look at that save by Smith.
Brad Park. Excellent scoring opportunity here.
Okay, let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Bruins Television Network.
TV38, WSBK-TV, Boston.
The draw to the Islanders, not out. Rick Smith kept it in. A screen shot just hit Langman. Gets it away to Bourne. Minnesota leads Montreal 1-0 first period. Here it's 1-1. Middleton breaks it up for Marcotte. Driven in. Miller in a forecheck. Around the boards, Marcotte intercepts. Battles Bourne. Has it in the corner. To Miller. Doesn't break. Rick Smith. Shot. Blocked. Centered. Blocked. Langman. clears it out. The pressure Boston as they, after the big fight, and 4 men aside giving game misconducts, the Bruins come storming and tie it up. Miller poking it ahead to Middleton, over the line, in, and Markoff couldn't tip it. Great